Hello, everybody. I'm back for round two, and I'm gonna do another person that I have decided to honor for Black History Month. Like I said before, it won't be your typical people that people would expect to be honored, but this is what I'm choosing to do. Okay, the second person that I'm choosing to speak on is came about because of a movie that I watched years ago. The movie that I watched years ago was called South Central. If you haven't seen it, you can see a reference of it below. Okay? There's a scene in the movie where, you have to watch it to see how the scene was, but there's a scene in the movie where the man asks the other man, he's like, don't you know this is a man standing here? And in turn, the man responds and says, yeah, I know this is a man. Right? So that's what I'm trying to see if, maybe if we know that, hey, you're a man, I'm a man, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we will begin to treat one another a little bit better and with a little bit more dignity and respect as a people, right? Okay. Um, Anyway, y'all have already know that I always talk about the fact that people are hurting out here, and hurt people tend to hurt people. That doesn't make an excuse because every hurt person is not out here hurting people. But unfortunately, we have a lot of people out here today who are doing it without even a care or even a pitch of concern. It doesn't even faze them of the actions that they have been displaying out here, right? I'm gonna try to make this fast, y'all. Okay. So it's like, at the end of the day, we know that hate is real. I mean, you can come out your front door and people will hate you because you come out every day with a big smile on your face, not knowing that you too could also be hurting and struggling with the fact that you don't want to join in with the insanity that we're doing. And we all know that insanity is just doing the same thing over and over again, repeatedly, without a productive change, no sign of change happening. So you're continuing to do the same actions over and over again. And not only do I think we are heading for extinction, I think we on repeat because our brains is just operating that way due to hurt on top of hurt on top of hurt. And in my eyes, I feel like it's time that we heal. So back to what I was talking about. This is what made me decide to speak about this person. And as y'all can see in the title, it says no, and I missed something also because, when I think back to slavery days, when the men couldn't protect their children or their women and they couldn't stand up for them. If they tried, you all know what happened. In those moments, I'm sure at some point they wanted to just scream out, don't you know I'm a man, right? So my problem with that is like, when do we become so infuriated in this world today that we begin to have a problem with another man when he begins to recognize his role as a king, not only within his community, but also within his castle, which is his home, which is his family. So the person, as I said, that I was going to talk about today was actually young Dolph. I didn't know a whole lot about young Dolph until maybe a couple of years ago. Um, I know he had been shot at previously, and that was not successful. And then he was shot at again, and it was successful. I can remember seeing a little clip when he came out, and you know how you come out of the hospital and the interviewers have a habit of asking that same old dumb question to everybody, where they ask them, "Do you plan to do anything about it?" Almost asking them on video, like, "Do you plan to retaliate?" Right now, I don't know about the culture today and the young folks today because some people do actually tell everything on themselves. But most normal people is not going to just come out and say, oh, hell yeah, I plan to retaliate. But in this case, he didn't say that. He said he was going to focus on his family basically and continue to make his money, continue with his destiny or whatever. And every rapper or whoever says that, I don't normally even believe one part of it. But for some reason, I believed this young man, right? I believe that that's what he was really focusing on, not retaliation or anything like that. I don't know, but he had a sincerity about it. And if I get fooled by it, I guess I've just been duped. But back to the story, the thing that hurt me the most is the fact that when they did kill him, and they got to know that in this situation, they may have taken his soul. You see what I'm saying? Taken his body, but they did not take his soul. And the reason why is because he figured it out. Not only had he begun to become active within the community, but he figured out his role as a man in his household. When you when you have children and you have to think different, right? There's a verse in the Bible, and y'all, I scratched this down a long time ago, and I never got this story out back when I learned that he had been killed. But there's a verse in the Bible, 1 Corinthians 13:11, which pretty much states, when I was a child, I spoke as a child. When I spoke as a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned as a child. You know, you do everything as a child when you was a child. But when you become a man, right? You need to be doing things differently, as such a man would do, right? So this is something like, if nobody ain't never told nobody out there that, this is something that I hope reach some of our brothers, females, men, or everybody. You know what I'm saying? It come a time when you should want to change something about the way you've been doing things instead of repeating the cycle. And I think the thing that made me the most angriest about this case is the fact that they took him right before Christmas and in the process of doing a good deed. As we know, you can't hardly do nothing in the community nowadays. You can't do anything good because next thing you know, you're not here. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, my thing with that is like, you took him right at Christmas time. Not that any time is a better time, but I'm going to tell y'all, I lost my mother, and I'm a grown-ass woman. I lost my mother a couple of days before Christmas in 2005. And it's probably one of the hardest things that I ever had to do. And I'm going to tell you, no child should feel that pain. We don't even have common courtesy for one another when it comes to that anymore. No dignity, no nothing. You know, it's sad because I watched the clip, actually, that my son showed me. And, you know, we're not making this about race, but it's just the fact that there was somebody on that clip that did not like the race of black people. And he made a comment. Somebody asked him a question about it, boldly. And he made a comment like, we don't even have to worry about them no more. They're doing it to themselves. And how can we disagree? Because that is basically what we are doing. And we're not even thinking it through. And I just wanted to say that today, I wanted to give him an honor today for standing up and being a man to his family, for standing up and becoming a man within the community that suffers so much every single day. I just wanted to give him his honors. Unfortunately, I didn't know him, so I didn't get to give him his rewards while he was here. But I hope he knows that somebody thinks he was doing a good job. I'm sure the people he was helping within that community thought he was doing a good job. You know what I'm saying? We can't get above because we end up suffering because we constantly turn each other down. We're erasing each other. And I just wanted to share that for Black History Month. I'm sure it was a lot more stuff that I had to say in this, but I just was rummaging through my paperwork and stumbled across this. So I said, okay, let me present this about young DOLPH. So my question to everybody else out there, and our black males in particular, don't you know this was a man, right? Y'all hear me always talk about, and they all look like me. They all look like me. And I just don't, it takes me a minute. It's frustrating, okay? I just don't understand the gist of it to the degree that we're doing things, okay? So I just wanted to give him his props. And it's a little song that also comes to mind. I'm definitely not. I'm definitely skipping some things here, but it's a little song that also comes to mind, and I really don't want to sing it with my mask off because I don't want my mouth all torn open. But it's by Jonathan McReynolds, and it goes something like this. And the devil will learn it's a mistake when I am sure, oh, that I'm not going in cycles. I'm not going in cycles. I'm gonna break these cycles. Oh, 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 cycles. I'm gonna break these cycles. I'm not going in cycles. Cycles. I'm not going in cycles. Generational cycles. Don't be going in cycles. And I love y'all. Stand up, people. They all look like me. Let's sort this pain out and begin to heal ourselves. And that's with anybody, black, white, whatever, but let's begin the healing process. We can't heal everybody, but let's begin the healing process. Because this was another senseless death. But today, I honor young DOLPH for standing up. And he's all right. Because you know why? He figured it out. He's not still confused. He wasn't lost. So they may have stripped his body, but they didn't get his soul. Long live DOLPH.